to.
Hold on. Hopefully that fixes it.
I'll give it a moment. If you go to your camera source and you click on it, it should say deactivate,
Okay.
and then that way you can do it in Discord. There we go.
There we go.
But yes, thank you for joining me today on this. For a brief introduction for anyone that hasn't seen this, is Get to Know Your Streamer. Today we have our wonderful man Bernsey here, who has just recently, moved, got your internet set up and everything, and getting back into streaming. So very exciting for that. But if you want to give a brief introduction about yourself before we get started.
Yeah. I'm Bernsey. I play a lot of shooter games, horror games, pretty much RPGs, Souls likes. As Myler, I'm sure, had said in his streams, that I'm crack at Souls games. And no, I don't feel like I'm crack. I just enjoy challenging games.
Fair enough. Fair enough. V says hi.
Hi, V.
So I guess like first and foremost, the first question I always ask is what got you into streaming? What was it that made you finally hit that go live button for the first time?
Well, I don't know. I just enjoy playing video games and whatnot. Like I don't really drink, smoke, or any of this. And when I was younger, I used to watch like PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, and even Markiplier. And they kind of like, I don't know, watching them, like, how hard could it be? And plus, just kind of, sometimes you just gotta try new stuff out and see
Yeah.
how it goes. You
Yeah.
can't always be afraid. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does. Like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta kind of put yourself out there and just kind of go for it,
Yeah.
So like, let's say it's like 1 hour before streaming. What do you do to prepare? Is there like a special routine, or is it just like, fuck it, I'm going live?
Usually I just kind of listen to music and whatnot online, and then I just go live.
Fair.
Just
Fair.
kind of hit the button.
Yeah. Very valid. When you think of your community, what are you most thankful for?
For all the amazing people that be able to like hang out and chill and whatnot. Like especially like Shelby, Tosh, Snow, even like my friend Ethan. They've been like amazing and whatnot. And even like the newer people, like Micah comes in now. Micah's awesome.
We do love Micah.
he was actually like the first person from Myers community to stop popping my stream.
Yeah, he definitely is always around.
I also feel like Micah is like everywhere.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
even when you think he's not there, he's there.
Like my community is very like positive. Like even on my shitty days where I'm like feeling out of it, they like hype me up.
Yeah, no, I definitely can see that. There's definitely been days where, I was either struggling myself or like, stream just wasn't behaving or whatever, as in like, OBS was being a bitch. Pulling a Milers, I'm gonna start calling it this rate. There's a lot of days where like they would be the ones to hype me up to keep me going. So I definitely get that.
Or even like the games are rough and it's just like you're just not feeling it.
Yeah. Very true. So what advice would you give to a new streamer to build a good community?
Um, my biggest advice would be try try to keep like the negative people away and whatnot.
Hmm.
Try to keep like positivity and good vibes. Because as soon as you start allowing like negative vibes in your community, it's really hard to get rid of that.
Hmm.
And it doesn't always feel welcoming. Like new people come in. Like first impressions, I feel like are everything.
Yeah, very true, very true. What is the most important thing to you when it comes to streaming? Is it the community? Is it having like a good time with others, or is it all of it?
A little bit of all of it. Like I feel like you just have to have fun with it.
Hmm.
And you're like not having fun and you're just playing 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 stuff that just for reviews and stuff, it's really not going to be like good content. Like you need to be having fun yourself, and I feel like if you're having fun and whatnot and enjoying yourself, then like other people will enjoy your content more than this
100%.
than just being forcing yourself playing a game that you don't enjoy or doing something that you obviously just makes you miserable.
Yeah. I remember when I first started streaming, as much as it drove people crazy, um, I used to stream just purely Destiny. And so I would stream Destiny for like 8 to 10 hours, and I would just do that every time I went live. And it got to the point where I was starting to lose interest in Destiny, so I branched out into doing more Apex streams, doing more Overwatch streams, a little bit of Valorant streams, and I definitely found more enjoyment being able to play with people than it is just
Yeah,
playing like more single player games. If I'm playing a single player game, I actually will even end up having like people in VC with me and just be talking to them and like talking to chat. So,
yeah.
so I guess a question that I had directly just for you. Um, so how many Souls-like games have you played?
Pretty much all of them.
Fair enough. Have you
But
started Wukong or are you about to?
no, I'm going to
Uh,
once I get paid at midnight.
nice, nice. Well, enjoy
Um,
that.
the first Souls game I played that got me into it was Demon Souls before the Souls like
Hmm.
genre was a
Yeah.
thing. Like they advertised that game like, hey, you want like a game that's challenging that makes you feel. Because I remember being younger, growing up, and like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and N64 games, those consoles don't hold your hands,
Hmm.
especially in the regular Nintendo games.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you just have to figure it out. Where like today, it feels like some games literally hold your hand through it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, by the way, there's something telling you to go this direction. Nah, you
Yeah,
had to figure that shit out.
yeah, and like Demon Souls when it came out on the PS3, I played that game and I absolutely fall in love with it because it doesn't hold your hand, doesn't really tell you much of the mechanics. You just had to figure it out
Yeah.
and figure out which area. Like the level design in that game is, you can pick which area you want to tackle first.
Hmm.
There's no set stone way.
Yeah.
Like going to a harder area, obviously, it's going to be a lot more difficult,
Hmm.
but at least the choice is there for you.
Yeah. Very fair. Very fair. Okay, let's go back up here. Um, would you consider yourself a variety streamer, or do you have more like a main game?
I would say variety because I feel like I don't just stay on one game
Yeah,
for very long.
fair
Like
enough.
I used to stream Apex a lot, but I'm kind of like burnt out on Apex, so I won't play it unless I'm playing with people.
Yeah. So if variety streams didn't work out and you had to choose one game to play, what game would that be?
For content,
Yeah,
probably Final Fantasy 14.
I need to get into that series. I need to give it a shot.
Yeah, because there's raids, there's the housing market, there's dungeons. You can
Hmm.
build, farm, fish. There's so much content on that game that it would literally like it'd be rough for me not be able to make content playing that game. It
Yeah.
might not be always the most interesting because MMO to watch and play, but
I think a lot of people actually enjoy it, to be honest with you.
yeah.
So, where did the name Burnsy 218 come from?
Uh, all right, there's a story.
I
So
like
when I
stories.
first, there, way back when I was younger, I my first online console in Halo 2 days on the original Xbox. I was a stupid kid, didn't really care about names and whatnot. So I just made a generic name. It's kind of funny. It was Neutral Table, which is a weird name.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's Xbox generated. But all through high school, I kind of like switch it because my last name people call me Burnsy. Even in sports, it got to a point where they wouldn't even use my normal name. It would just I'd be Burnsy
Hmm.
and whatnot. So when I switched to PS4 and Steam and stuff, because Xbox, the Red Rain dev kept dying,
Hmm.
it literally, I just was like, oh, I'll just make my account Burnsy
Fair enough.
and whatnot. And apparently there's a lot of Burnsies,
Hmm.
which is kind of interesting. But 218 was just like, I don't know, just a random number,
Fair
nothing
enough.
special.
Hey, perfectly valid, you know? Um, so if streaming didn't work out, and let's say like Twitch died and, no one wants to go to Kick, what would you do?
I probably would just switch to making Let's Plays on YouTube or story or clips and stuff. I
Hmm?
mean, obviously, I have a job outside here. I'm a
Hmm.
chef and cook and run manage restaurant pretty much. So I always have that to fall back on too.
Yeah, it's always good to have a fallback. Um, so I have one question for you that we'll save for the very end because it'll be pertaining to kind of like what we're doing about podcast.
Yeah.
So what about your setup makes it feel like home in yours?
The fact that I built my own PC, mine's kind of getting outdated, but it still works. Like, it's one thing to get like pre-builds and whatnot, but the fact that when you literally go through and like build your own PC the first time, it literally feels like it's your project. It's something you did
Hey, it's
and
just
not,
an expensive Lego set, okay?
yeah, that
I
too. A
Yeah,
very expensive Lego set.
yeah. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, no, I can definitely get that. Um,
Wait, it's just,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just something that you did yourself
Hmm.
versus paying someone to do it for you and ship it to you.
Yeah. Um, what would be one item that you would like to add to your setup, and then one dream item?
Probably like audio mixer for audio stuff.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm gonna buy an art monitor tomorrow, but like, yeah, or even the streamer deck,
Oh,
stream
Stream
deck
Deck. Yeah,
yeah, this
I
will
love
help.
mine. Oh, I fucking love it. It is so amazing. And then what's one dream item that you would like to add?
Buy an arm for the mic, which probably really easy to do. I'm pretty sure I can just order one off Amazon.
If you need a recommendation, the one that I have, the one that Micah has, it is the F Fine microphone arm, and it was like $40. Absolutely love it. Um, it holds holds its place. It never falls. It never has any issues. It is perfectly like it can go underneath your monitors and come out like how mine is. Um, it's can go above if you really want and come down. It can do a lot of things, but it is a beautiful um microphone arm.
Yeah, it definitely would help. Then I
Hmm.
wouldn't have sit so close to like my desk per se.
Yeah. Um, what was the first big major purchase that made you feel that streaming was like more like a full commitment to it?
Probably my, I would say my capture card, because capture cards aren't really cheap.
Yeah, which one do you got?
The HD 60 plus,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a
and
good one.
then yeah, and also the Astro A50s, which
Yeah, those are not cheap.
yeah, I bought them when they were $300. Love the
Ouch.
headset, but they're definitely not
They're not cheap.
for they're not cheap.
Um, so what is your streaming schedule like? Would you like to stream more or would you like to stream less?
I would like to stream more, but because of my work schedule, as everyone knows, I work 70 hours a week. It's kind of rough to have a set schedule.
Yeah.
So usually I just do it on my days off.
Hmm.
Like I could do it before work, but it would just be like tiring, which
Yeah, you want to make sure you get your sleep.
yeah, I want to make sure I get my sleep and be able to like do household chores since it's just me here.
Hmm.
And I don't like living in like a messy place
Yeah.
per se.
No, I get you on that. So with like what you have with your setup and your schedule, what would you tell younger streamers or like newer streamers? Would you like give them advice for, kind of having that life balance, or would you like, things to maybe avoid like when you're first starting streaming?
I would. My biggest advice would be to try your best to like balance your life out. Obviously, if you like some people and can go full time and it's like literally your job, obviously you quite easily make your own schedule
Hmm.
and whatnot. But like working and whatnot, you need to make sure like you're getting your sleep, you're eating and stuff. Because when I first started like a year ago or whatnot, I was going to work. Like I worked during the day, then I would come home and just go streaming. And I kept doing that back and back. And some nights I wouldn't stream until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning until like 6 a.m. And then I'll get up and be fucking exhausted the next
Hmm.
day and be overtired. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
sleep is so important for your body. It's,
Yeah.
and no, I I don't really sleep much, but that's me.
Well, I mean, I'm not much better. I maybe get 4 hours of sleep if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Um, so let's just say you finish streaming and everything. What do you like to do to like to relax and separate your streaming life from your personal life?
Um, it depends on the day, but usually separate myself. I'll make like something to eat some food, watch anime. If there's sports on, I'll watch sports, or or just chill out in Discord with people and
Hmm.
just chat
Yeah,
and chill.
fair, fair.
I know I
Um,
was
oh,
chilling in Discord the other night with Luna and everyone playing Once Human, and B made a comment that I was like being kind of quiet, but I was like, I'm just hanging out and
hmm.
just chilling.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely a lot of nights where, there's not really much to say. You're just kind of there just to be in the presence of people, but sometimes it's just nice to kind of have, be around people, but not really have to say anything.
Yeah. And of course, he's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And I was like, you're fine.
Yeah. Um, do you like to read? Well, I guess you just kind of said watch and everything for watching anime. So, what anime are you kind of currently watching?
Um, One Piece, My Hero, Hellsing, and then the new, which Micah would love this, the new Fairy Tale.
Oh,
sequel.
nice, nice.
Yeah, the 1,000 Year Dragon Quest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead,
No, go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay. What accomplishment are you most proud of in life, for both streaming and in real life?
Uh, so I'd say my biggest accomplishment besides like obviously what I said in my other chat last night, which my boss is giving me a bonus, like the
Mm-hmm.
store manager bonus for pretty much saving the restaurant from being shut down. I would say my biggest accomplishment would be with last year after losing my apartment because landlords being a dick, and then literally losing my vehicle and having nothing but bad stuff happen to me, which I kind of like sat there at one point and was just like, what the fuck? But I also like me being me has the mindset that I can't just sit here and feel sorry for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I fuck up. It's my bad. I just need to fix it and get back on track. And now I'm finally getting. It's been like 5 to 8 months later. I'm like the last 2 months. I finally got my vehicle back on the road. I got my license back. I got a new apartment. I'm getting situated. Like I'm finally able to manage like my work,
Mm-hmm.
which was complete another stress level.
Yeah.
I just like the world will shit on you, and that's no give will shit on you if you
Mm-hmm.
just feel like you accept stuff. Like you have to do something about it. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just sit there and feel bad for yourself.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like at the end of the day, only you are your greatest enemy. And, you can sit there and mope for a bit, and you can sit there and just kind of, take the defeat and just keep on feeling defeated. And you'll see that only more things keep on, not
Yeah,
going your direction. But only you can decide when it's time to change. Only you can decide when it's, to fight back. And, from
yeah,
where you were to now, like, it's incredible. Like, you are getting yourself back on track into where you want to be, and that's absolutely amazing, and we're so fucking proud of you for that, because it's definitely not easy. It's not easy in this day and age to be able to, have so many things happen to
and then
where
be
it's
able to bounce
and to
back.
bounce back. Yeah, 100%. Like, it's absolutely incredible. um and that goes to show great testament in you as a person. You're still there in streams, you're still there supporting people, you're still there, lurking and chatting and saying hi to everyone, trying to get games in and everything like that, while also working a job that's stressing you out. You're also doing so many things, but like being able to do all of that, and to now be at the point where you are, to now being able to, like, I hope you see the success that you've like put in, and see the work paying off that you've put in. And
Yeah,
and
I
that
do.
is, yeah, and good. And that's incredible that your boss is giving you that bonus, because you deserve that bonus.
Well, it's great. He caught me completely off guard with
Mhm.
that because we're in the middle of like AGM meeting, which is all the assistant managers in our district in one room. And
Mhm.
he just goes, by the way, like you're getting the store manager bonus because he's like, without you, like that store was on down our like you literally saved the store because the way he had it fired like Justin, who's the guy that was
Mhm.
manipulating time punches, and he just kind of like made shit worse for you, but you somehow bounced the fuck back. It was like going in early, doing this, you're hiring people, you're training people, like you're literally doing everything
Mhm.
by yourself. And he's like, I just feel like you deserve it because that's not many people can do that.
Yeah, 100%. But hey, good shit though. Um
Yeah.
and then I guess the last little bit here before we get to my last question for you. Um what do your days off entail? do you like to go out and do some random things, or is it just streaming,
I,
or is it random?
I, I like to when it's nice outside and whatnot. I like to go outside, where it's like go to park, shoot hoops, go for hiking, just do something outside.
Hmm.
And obviously, like the New York State, depending on the weather, weather be bipolar as fuck. It'd be raining, whatnot, or even snowing in the middle of summer. Doesn't matter. Like I just where like a person should try to get out of the house even for a little bit,
Hmm.
because I mean, being stuck behind like a desk all day can kind of like kill you
Yeah.
slowly. And just trying new things.
Hmm. Is there anything that you would like to try that you haven't gotten to?
Uh, as crazy as sounds, shark diving, being
Oh,
in a
gee,
shark
nope,
cage.
mm-mm, nope, mm-mm. You're good. You can enjoy it. Yeah, no, mm-mm. Ooh.
But I've been in like I've been skydiving more than once. I've been rock climbing,
Mm-hmm.
like doing a lot of stuff. And I'm usually always like I wouldn't mind going to like the mall here and doing like a escape room with people.
Oh, that would be
I
fun.
think that I think that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Or just doing something.
We're going ghost hunting with Mike and I. By the way,
Yeah,
we have a plan for that.
I'll be down for that.
So,
I'll I'll even
my, my
reserve time off.
Myler wants to go to a museum. He likes museums, right?
Yeah.
Little does he know, the USS Lexington has like a overnight thing because it's haunted, and you can actually do
Uh,
it for 2 nights. So we're just gonna
where is
trick.
that?
Lexington's actually in Texas,
Okay.
so he
So
can't
I'm
use the
gonna need
excuse that
text.
it's too far.
Yeah. And
So
we just won't tell him that
yeah, no,
it's
no, no. We'll
a
just tell him we're
haunted.
going to the museum. We won't tell him
Yeah.
what it's about. We'll book his ticket, like his ticket and everything, so that way he just doesn't know. We'll say no. We'll take care of all that. But little does he know,
Yeah.
we're staying there overnight for 2 nights, and it will be haunted.
Yeah. So I'll just let me know and I'll just take the time off work and fly out.
Bet. I'll have my people get in touch with your people.
All right.
um, so this is kind of like the big question because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Um, you wanted to start a podcast. So what exactly do you have in mind for your podcast, and like what are you wanting to achieve with it?
I'd say I just for my podcast I would want like talk about like anime, sports, games, and whatnot.
Hmm.
Like obviously it won't be like to anything like crazy or whatnot, but just like with the podcast, I want to achieve a place where people can just come online, have fun, even like ask questions if they
Hmm.
want. It's just I don't know. It's like something I always want to try
So kind of
per
like a
se.
general talk show type thing where like you and one other
Yeah,
person or however many people are just kind of like all chatting and all that.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you mentioned sports and all that. So that's all the questions I have for you. So if you have any for me, feel free. But I guess one question is you watch football, right?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite football team?
The Giants. And no, they stress me out.
My team is too, believe me.
Like
Uh,
stress me out.
oh my god.
I'm
Um,
still it's still a little like don't get me wrong, I'm still a little salty about them not playing Saquon, but
mhm.
like I'm happy Saquon Barkley got his money.
I'm
It's
happy he
just
got his money, but I wouldn't be
it's just
happy it's an Eagle.
it's yeah, it's just I despise the Eagles.
Hmm.
Out of all the NFC teams, I despise them. And I was like, of course it had to be the one team that I fucking hate.
Yeah.
Like I don't even hate the Cowboys that much, but I think out of the division, the least team I despise is Washington. But
Hmm.
I
Well,
I'm just bro.
Yeah. Um, Believe me, the Eagles are on my hit list too because of they took AJ Brown. I quite
Yeah,
literally like I remember watching the draft and cuz I have an AJ Brown jersey. I just got it for Christmas like the year like, a few months prior. I'm sitting there like, "Okay, let's go draft time. We're going to get some new players. We're going to be golden. We have AJ Brown and all this stuff." And then I wake up to see that the Titans traded AJ Brown and I was like, "You're fucking kidding me, right?" And I was like,
yeah.
"Brother, you're shitting me." And
The-
uh
I feel like the Eagles want to win now. That's why they're making all these big moves. But it's gonna come back and bite them in
it
the
already
ass when
did.
they have to pay all these superstar players money or they're gonna walk.
Well, and that's the thing is it already did bite them because their year to win was the moment they signed AJ Brown. Those were
Yeah,
their 2 years to win. They didn't because now AJ Brown's hurt. His contract's going to be up here, I think, next year, and he already got a huge payout. They couldn't pay Saquon. They couldn't pay half of their defense.
yeah,
Um, a lot of people are like they're wanting to be paid. And they just got like yeah, they just signed Saquon, so now they have even less money to do that. It's the
yeah.
same issue that who was it?
I feel like the Giants didn't give Daniel Jones all that money. They probably could have re-signed Saquon, but
Daniel Jones to me is kind of overrated.
yeah, he's not great.
Like he's a good quarterback, but I don't think he's in the right system. I think he's kind of in the gist that Geno Smith was with the Jets. He
Yeah,
was just awful with the Jets, but ever since he
and,
went to the Seahawks, he's
and now
been
look at
damn
Gino.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Gino,
like,
he's been
yeah, he's been
sleeper.
good.
He's a sleeper quarterback in
Look at
fantasy
Baker
too.
Mayfield.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield with the
Baker's.
Browns was just shit, but now look at what he's doing with Tampa. He's absolutely killing it. Um, and it just really goes to show like once you put a quarterback in the right system, it it turns night and day for people. And I think like even Derek Carr, like yeah, sure he was good with the Raiders, but look what he's doing with the Saints now. He's
Yeah,
playing really well. Um so I think it really goes down to at the end of the day like what system they're in. And putting all that money in like putting all of your money into one basket for a quarterback that,
yeah.
he hasn't been he's not on Mahomes level, he's not on like Jalen Hurts level, he's not on Josh Allen level. He's still
He's
a
a
decent quarterback. He's not bad, but you're putting all of your money banking that he's going to be like those guys, and you're just
when
not going to see
and,
that payout.
yeah, and when you have our issues that you need to address first.
Mm-hmm. Because what was their first two games?
They got destroyed by the Vikings,
Mm-hmm.
and then they they lost because of the rookie wide receiver dropping the ball
Yeah, so they
to
lost
Watson,
28-6 to the Vikings,
in which
and
the rookie they got is kind of like
oh,
showing out.
neighbors.
Too. Yeah, he's top rookie wide receiver in yards so
Mm-hmm.
far this year. So he's like doing his thing, but he's had like one drop the
Yeah,
entire game, which sucks. But
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's a part of football. You know,
yeah,
you gotta be able to play the whole entire game. It's a 60-minute game. Um,
yeah.
I guess here's a question for you then. Do you think the NFL is scripted? This is just a random
Mm,
question.
some years, yes. Sometimes no, because the refs in the NFL, some games they are extremely questionable with the calls.
Yeah, there's definitely been like you can genuinely just go look at like any NFL game. You can sit there and watch and go, that's a pass interference here, but it's not here. Or if they're calling everything, like if they haven't called anything at all the whole game, like it's just been whatever, and then the fourth quarter they just start calling everything. It's like,
Yeah,
it's definitely that big thing of like one, um, I don't remember who it, like which game it was, but there was a game where I don't remember which team. There was a blatant foul. Like it was roughing the passer. They didn't call it, but they called it the other way earlier. And it's like someone saying, "Oh, no, it's the hip drop tackles." They just implemented that rule this year where they can't do hip drop. And now so many players are getting injured because of that very tackle that's supposed to be fouled, but it's like there's no communication.
Yeah.
So it's like it really goes to show like, okay, do the refs need to be, every single year they need to be retested and reevaluated and made sure
Yeah.
like they understand the full rules? Or is
Well,
that just the
just like the
NFL not
whole
saying anything?
when Odell was on the Giants and played against Carolina Panthers, he legit was fist fighting
Oh, yeah.
another player. Like, and the refs are just sitting there like letting it go on all game, and then
Well,
they
no, they
find
both got ejected.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
That
like the whole like play fighting with the hands, like they typically let that go. It's until they throw the fist because
yeah.
it was Josh Norman because Josh
Yeah.
Norman and Odell have beef.
Beef.
Um, and I remember that game. I remember watching it because it was on a run play, and because it was Saquon, he got the first down or something, and um, Norman was trying like Norman was on a run or Odell was on a run. Norman kind of like threw him a little bit and then went to go towards the tackle. And it was like the play previous, like Norman did something to piss off Odell. Odell comes back around and just guns with his head and goes straight for Norman. And it was the most blatant thing. And then they started fist fighting.
Yeah.
Um, I think the number one though rival, like Gardner Johnson for the Eagles now, he was on the Saints, but he's known for getting people pissed off. But I still think the greatest rivalry for like players fighting flat out was Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan.
Oh yeah.
That was 2008, 2009. I remember he was in Houston. Those two were like literally like, shoving each other fighting. The very next play, it was a run play. They didn't even there was no like they didn't care. It was straight up ready to fight. And Andre Johnson started throwing punches. Cortland Finnegan got his helmet ripped off and got punched, and then he started clapping. It was bad. Both players got ejected that game,
Yeah.
but it's crazy. Um, I guess. Do you have any early Super Bowl predictions? Not who's gonna win, but who's just at least going to be in the Super Bowl.
It may not look like it right now. Probably Kansas City.
I hope not, because I don't want to deal with another parade.
Yeah. Um. I don't know. I just think Mahomes is just ridiculous. And no,
Mhm.
Travis Kelsey's not really doing shit right now.
I actually think
Oh,
he not purposely, like, I think everyone knows this is going to be his last year. I
yeah.
think he's going to play out this year and then retire. I think that's what's probably going to end up happening. Um, who in the NFC side do you think is going to make the Super Bowl?
NFC. Mm, 49ers.
Really?
Could be.
I don't know. The 49ers, like the way that they played versus last week when they lost.
Because there's no way in hell I'm saying Eagles.
Yeah. I have a sleeper pick, but then I have one that's a little bit more predictable. For the AFC, it's either going to be like either the Bills are going to bounce back and Bills are going to do really good, or it's going to be the Chiefs. One of
Yeah.
those two. As for the NFC, I have a sleeper. The Minnesota Vikings.
That would be insane.
Sam Darnold is another one of those quarterbacks where, he was on the wrong system and now he's cooking.
Falling.
The way that like the Vikings defense really did well to shut down Debo and like shut like even without McCaffrey, whatever. But they shut down Debo, they shut down Ayuk, and they shut down Kittle. And
Yeah.
then they balled off. Like like Darnold did really good because Darnold was 7 for 26, 268, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT, and like Debo had 8 for 100 yards or 108 receptions for 110. Jefferson had 4 receptions for 133 yards and a tutty.
Yeah,
So,
I can see it. It probably would make a lot of Vikings fans happy because
mhm. I
they're
think.
so. But
Go ahead.
I have like a friend that's a Vikings fan
Hmm.
that he doesn't expect anything. He's so used to
Yeah,
just being disappointed by them that I feel like if they were to win the Super Bowl, he wouldn't know how to react.
yeah. I definitely think they're a sleeper. I think a lot of like I think they can do very well. Um, Another team that I think could kind of be a sleeper this year that could do very well is the Bucks.
Yeah,
I mean, versus the Commanders, that's whatever, but I mean, they beat the Lions, and the Lions are not a bad team anymore. Jared Goff is a very good quarterback. That team is very good. They're very ballsy. Um, I think either one of those two teams could very well make a good push because I think the Eagles now without Jason Kelsey, like Jason Kelsey made an absolute difference. But
oh yeah, on the
now
offense line.
yeah, without AJ Brown right now cuz he's injured and I mean, they just lost to Atlanta. So it's like I
Yeah,
could
too.
the Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback too. Um but I'd be like I think it'll be an interesting season on the NFC side, whereas the AFC side is just going to kind of be like the same, 2 or 3 teams that are just going
Yeah,
to dominate.
Bills, Chiefs,
Bills, Chiefs,
maybe, maybe,
Cincy, and Balti, but Baltimore and
maybe,
Cincy are 0-2. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. That's crazy though, because Cincinnati's not a bad team, near as the Ravens.
Well, Cincy lost week 1 to
To the Chiefs.
no, that was week 2. They just
Was
lost
it?
to them. It was 25-26. Who did they lose to week 1? They lost to the Patriots, which that one
That,
surprised me.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So Bengals are kind of having a rough start. Week 1, the Ravens lost to the Chiefs. Week 2, they lost to the Raiders, which the that one I'm kind of like there was a couple calls in that game where I was kind of like, I don't know about that one, Chief. But I mean, you're always
Yeah.
gonna have missed calls. Like you can't blame your loss on a missed call or a bad call. Like you still lost
Yeah.
the game. Like you still, couldn't put up points or you couldn't, get the first down. You had to punt. So
It's okay. My team's the first team in forever to,
mhm.
lose to just field goals.
Yeah, I lost to the back when the Titans were first in the AFC West or no, in the AFC. They lost to the Bengals to a field goal because of Ryan Tannehill throwing a pick when all they had to
Mm,
do was run. You had Derrick Henry run the ball, run
just
it
give them the
down,
ball.
just give him the ball, let him get it down the field or whatever, and then kick a field goal. You win. You go on to play the Chiefs. And at that rate, you have the Chiefs coming back to you. You already beat the Chiefs once in the regular season.
Yeah,
Come on, like
you had the momentum.
we had the momentum there, but yeah. Now, is my team going to do much better with Will Levis right now? He has made 2 back-to-back weeks where he has made a very stupid play.
Yeah,
I hope this week versus Green Bay, where they just traded Malik Willis and he's now led them to a win versus the Colts. I hope, this week the Titans can kind of come back, bounce back a little bit and say, okay, no, we need to get our shit together. Will Levis gets, stops making those like trying to be like Mahomes and make those, cool plays or whatever and play smart football. And I think, you know, hopefully my team bounces back. I would at least like them to be second in the AFC South. That's all I'm going for.
yeah. I just want my team to get one win
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough.
because it's getting to the point where like the coach is on the hot seat now.
Mm-hmm.
But
But yes, thank you for joining me. I will get this all edited and posted on YouTube here later tonight. But before, is there any questions that you would like to ask?
Yeah, what made you decide to start streaming?
Um, so back in 2017, so I would have been a junior in high school. I started playing Rainbow Six Siege and I started really playing comp. And so there I decided, okay, I went on YouTube, started watching Siege videos, and I came across a guy named Pengu. Now, for people that don't know who Pengu is, he is a two-time world champion. He's, one of the
Mm-hmm.
best players to play the game. And so I decided to go start on Twitch and I started watching him live. And so it was kind of like watching him. And in 2019, I got my first PC, I built it. And so I decided, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to go live. We're going to start trying to stream. And so that was kind of my start was in 2019 and just kind of said, fuck it, we're going to start streaming me playing Siege. And eventually I kind of stopped playing Siege and I went to Destiny while playing Siege on
Yeah,
the side a little bit. And yeah, that's kind of just how it started.
it's another question. What's your favorite Lego you own?
Are we going for sentimental value or just because of its like cool factor?
Cool factor.
Cool factor is going to be this one that's actually right above my setup.
Okay.
So it's not technically canon. It's from the Yoda Chronicles series. This is Jek 14 Stealth Starfighter, and it like has the ability like his wings like fold up and all this stuff. But he's actually a really cool character. He is a force sensitive clone that actually has, if you can see his arm, it's actually holographic in a way, but it has lightning going through it because he's able to shoot lightning out of his arm. So this was a set I got for Christmas one year, and it was something that I've always wanted, and so I was really happy when I got it. And yeah, this is just one of those. I love the black and red color scheme. I love like the character design. I love like the story behind them. And so, yeah, this is my cool factor set.
That's cool.
Now, if we're going for sentimental value, it would be the big giant monster that's over here. Um,
Yeah.
so that giant thing over there, and that's just because. So over the years, like I've bought most of my Legos, or I got them for Christmas. This was like the first genuine Lego set that of like that thing's $500. My best friend Parker got it for me for my birthday, and while it stressed the fuck out of me building it because it's huge, um, it was definitely one of those things where it's like it'll always be in my heart. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
And then one more question. What would your favorite single player game be?
that's an easy one. That is a very easy one. Um,
Yeah.
that would be the Force Unleashed series. I
Force Unleashed.
loved Star Wars Force Unleashed. Absolutely love
I
it.
actually own both of those games.
I have two. I need to get one again. But I fucking love those games.
Would you say you prefer that over the Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order?
For just the raw skill and like the ability of like what Star
Uh,
Killer had, I would
and
say
what he could do with the
and what
light
he
powers and dark.
I mean, the man quite literally pulled a Star Destroyer down. Like, I don't care what people
Yeah.
said. Like, Vader pulled a small ship down, all right? He pulled a Star Destroyer. Like, you can't
Yeah,
beat that.
that was probably like one of the coolest scenes in the game.
Yeah. Um, I guess in more recent years, for like obviously graphics wise, I would say I prefer Survivor over Fallen Order. Just because I felt like the story was more developed and there was more things to go do. But for just pure, if I'm gonna go back and play a game for like just nostalgia, like years down the line, I'm still gonna go back to Forest Unleashed 2.
Yeah, I definitely did play like Knights of the Old Republic games,
Hmm.
and I wish they would do a remake of those because
There
they
was
were fun.
supposed to be. There was supposed to be Knights of the Old Republic, like a complete remake of it, but that project got canceled. I was so sad. I was so looking forward to it.
Especially like the whole light and dark
Hmm.
routes on those games were so good.
I mean, imagine if they brought, Revan, Bane, Valkorion, and all these other guys into it. Like, oh my,
Yeah.
like a modern day look of all of those characters. Game would have sold instantly.
Oh yeah. And not only the cutscenes would be amazing
Oh,
too.
oh yeah. Um, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What are you thinking of the new Apex season so far?
um, I really love the changes that they've done to Valk. I think they've definitely brought her back on a level where her pick rate's going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, the one thing I hate is the Rampart changes.
Yeah.
So I honestly think they need to go back and instead of making it to where, for one, she can pull out her Sheila and use it within 0.5 seconds. That's bullshit. I think they need to go back to make it to where you have to wait for the whole entire ultimate to charge and be full before you can use it. Because now you can use it like Vantage, where it's like certain segments that fill up with like a certain amount of ammo. Um, I think that is the dumbest decision because you get like that first little section within like the first like 20 or 30 seconds of like the game starting. So if you don't have a gun or like the person you're going up against has like a, let's say a 30-30 repeater and you have close range, you can spew out all of your ammo and get them down before they even have a chance. And it's like
Yeah.
it's just a really bad cop out and I think that Rampart specifically is kind of ruining, how the game is because it's just like a cheeky way or like not really cheeky, it's just a cheap way to get, kills. Now, yeah, a lot of people can say like, "Oh, well, just, she's slow moving, whatever. You can out DPS her with like double Mosiums." You're relying on the fact that you're going to get those Mosiums 9 times out of 10 against a Rampart
Yeah.
who doesn't have to go for a gun. She can just land, place down a shield, wait, pull out a minigun, shoot, and she gets amped up damage.
Yeah. I was
So,
actually a bit bitchy about the Mozons the other day when I was playing with Tosh in rank
mhm.
because I lit a dude up and he just turned around with do akimbo Mozons with hammer points and just melted me.
Yeah, no.
And I'm just like, I'm just like, I'm a little irritated by that.
Yeah, like I thought the having the akimbos would be really fun. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't include hammer points on them, like they would take that
Yeah.
ability. So it's either you have the one with it or if you have to, you can't have it. But when I saw that they were gonna have it and just seeing the mass destruction, I had a game when they first like brought it in. I had a game where I think I dropped like 10 kills and like almost 2,500 damage just with the Akimbo Mosiums, and that's all I used. And it's just like you can just sit there and spew out so much damage so fast with the hammer points and, just going back and forth. And it's just like, there's no point. Now, the P2020s, while they may not be as like, the spread and everything
Accurate.
as accurate, but they can definitely deal some fast damage because you get that range with them.
Yeah. And then you had me make the comment about the RE45s, the Kimbos, and you and Hockey are just like,
Oh
no.
my god. Could you imagine if they had RE45 Akimbo with hammer point?
Everyone would be running it.
every single person would, because it would
because
just be a
it was
laser. They're a laser,
yeah,
so it's just
yeah, it was
boom, done.
it was outshoot. I'm saying close range.
Yeah. Um, I told because you obviously brought that up, and I was like, you know what? If you're gonna bring that up, then I want dual wield alternators.
That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
To be
Or give me dual wield PKs at this rate.
dual PKs.
Shit.
Reba,
Throw in dual wield charge rifles. Imagine you have 2 charge rifles, you shoot them, it makes 1 mega bolt, and it just,
yeah,
instantly downs someone. Oh, jeez.
dual cravers.
Oh, Lord. Well, for one, you wouldn't be able to hit anything,
Yeah,
because the hip fire in the Kraber is ass.
ass.
Um,
And for 2, if you did manage hit both shots, you probably would just instantly kill someone.
well, yeah, well, 1 shot typically down, so, I mean, if you hit both and it's a double headshot, they're done. But, yeah, I'm ready to call it there. But, yes, thank you for joining me. If you are gonna play Black Myth Wukong, enjoy that tonight. But yeah, I will see you. Well, probably see you around a little bit, but when
Yeah.
Myler streams next on Tuesday or something, or if you go live, I'll pop by. But yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for joining me. Is there anything that you would like to say to everyone?
Thank you guys for joining us for this amazing talk conversation. I want to say wonderful. V's of NDP. I don't know if she's still there, but
She might be. I don't know.
I know she's usually late lurking.
Yeah.
But thank you for having me on.
Of
Red.
course. Thank you for joining.
Hopefully, we can get some games in sometime soon.
Hell yeah. I would enjoy that. But yeah.